is Unicorn Stephanie, and I'm here to bring you a special 1 hour yoga class, a Halloween-themed yoga class. Those of you that know me, you know that I love yoga, and I love to teach in costume every year. And so this is a fun little class that you can do on your own or with your kids or with your grandkids, maybe in costume, maybe not. Maybe you just want to watch and have a laugh. You don't need to know yoga to do most of this class. I'll be explaining as we go. If you have a yoga strap, that will be handy at one point during the class. If you don't have a yoga strap, it's not a big deal. You can use something like a bathrobe tie, or sometimes even a little small hand towel, or you can just skip that pose when we get there. All the poses are optional. You're welcome to do as much as you want and as little as you want. Let's get on the mat. So, we're going to be looking at a lot of very familiar yoga poses today, but maybe calling them by new names. We're going to start today in Shavasana, which is also known as corpse pose. And traditionally, this is actually known as corpse pose. And what could be more Halloween-y than a corpse? So we're going to lie all the way down the back. Let your arms be a little away from the body with the palms face up. Let your legs be a little apart from one another and the toes dropping outward. Just release everything. Maybe you've had a long day. Maybe you just want to take a moment and let the floor support you. If this is not comfortable for your low back, you can always bend the knees, bring the feet to the mat. And just start to pay attention to your body. Notice how it feels. Notice any places that could use a little extra love or attention or kindness. Beginning to notice your breath. Beginning to watch the rise and fall of the belly as you lie here on the floor. And maybe see if you can make your belly button rise up toward the ceiling on the inhale. And release. And again, inhale really deeply, letting that belly fill up. And release. And one more of those. Inhale. And release. Now we're going to bring both knees in toward the chest. Reaching inside the knees with the hand. You might be able to grab your big toes. You might be able to grab the outsides of your feet or your ankles. We're going to lie back on the floor, let the knees be in close toward the armpits as we lift the heels toward the ceiling. This is normally called happy baby, but today we're going to call this dead bug pose. If holding on to the ankles or the feet makes this pose all about the arms and shoulders for you, you can also wrap your forearms behind the knees and interlace the fingers. This keeps the knees in toward the chest as you're lifting the heels up toward the ceiling. Maybe you find a little rock from side to side. Maybe you find stillness wherever your dead bug is today. Notice what your breath feels like here. Notice if you can inhale deeply enough to squeeze the belly against the legs. One more breath. And release the feet down and come up to seated. And now we'll come over with hands and knees. Into a very horsey or unicorn-like position. Instead of taking unicorn, we're going to take cat-cow. So we're going to exhale, round the back, just like a Halloween cat, arching its back. And inhale, lifting the head, lifting the tailbone. Exhale, rounding back, tucking the chin, tucking the tailbone. Inhale, arching the back, looking up toward the edge of the ceiling. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. Maybe you like to find a little cat in your cat. Maybe inhale into your cow. Finding whatever makes this movement feel fun, or different, or just comforting. And then bringing the back flat again. Moving into child's pose. Bring your big toes together. Take your knees a little wider apart. Press your hips as far back toward the heels as they'll go. And then let the upper body rest down. Normally you rest your forehead on the mat, but my form doesn't allow me to bring it all the way down. So I'm going to make a little pillow with my hands, maybe stacking my fist on top of the hand, and rest my forehead on my fist. And breathe. From here in child's pose, I'm going to keep my hips back on the heels, walk my hands as far forward as they'll go, and then when I lift back up, I'm in kind of a wider table. Here I'll tuck my toes under, start to straighten the legs, and push them that way with both hands, lifting the hips way up and back. And then let the heels start to release toward the floor, maybe straightening the legs, maybe not. This is downward facing dog. I'm going to lower the knees back down to the mat. Press the hips back to the heels in child for just a breath. Inhale, back to that wide table. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, lower the knees down. Exhale, hips to heels in child. Inhale, wide table, tuck the toes, lift the hips, exhale, down dog. Inhale, knees to mat. Exhale, back to child. Inhale, table, tuck the toes, lift the hips, exhale, down dog. 2 more rounds. Pressing back to child. Lifting up, down dog. Drop the knees, back to the child. Lifting up and down. From down dog, we're going to lengthen up into plank. So we want to get the back flat. Butt is in line between the heels and the shoulders. Shoulders directly over the wrists. If this is a little too intense, you can drop the knees, make this supportive plank. If you're okay in plank, try bringing the right knee in toward the chest. If that's a little intense, drop the ball of the foot to the mat. And maybe walking the left hand forward and stalking werewolf. If that left hand is forward, bring it back under the shoulder, step the right foot back. Second side. Maybe the left knee in toward the chest, maybe you can hover that foot, maybe you want to plant the ball of that foot. And maybe that right hand tiptoes forward, stalking werewolf. And if the right hand is not under the shoulder, bring it back. Left hand back to plank, and lift the hips up and back to down dog. Looking between the hands, we're going to bring the feet up between the hands. You might do this with one hop. You might walk the feet up. You might pick the hands up at some point. Stepping up to the top of the mat, find a forward fold, Uttanasana. legs are straight, the sitting bones are lifting up toward the ceiling. The upper half of the body is melting over the lower half. Head, neck, and shoulders are relaxed. Inhale, lifting halfway up, flattening the back, lengthening out through the crown of the head and the tailbone. Half lift, and exhale, fold again. Inhale, lifting up, flattening the back, this time coming all the way up to standing. We'll move into sun salutations for full body warm-up. From the top of the mat, feet about hips width apart. Inhale, the arms out and up. Exhale, hinging from the hips, folding with a flat back, arms into a T. When the hamstrings kick in, let the back round. Release the arms, head, neck, and shoulders. Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold again. Bend the knees as much as you need to place the fingers next to the toes. Slide or step the left foot most of the way back and let that knee come to the mat. Lunge, Uttanasana. You can stay here, fold over this leg, or maybe bring your forearms to that forward thigh, or maybe bring the torso all the way upright. Make sure that forward knee is over the ankle or at most the center of the foot. If you want to be cushioning for the back knee, you can put a blanket or a small towel or a small pillow back there. On an inhale, we're going to place the hands around the forward foot, tuck the toes in the back knee, lift that knee, slide or step the right foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lengthen out to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot steps up to the top of the mat. Your body does not step in one pass. Get it where you can, and then help it the rest of the way. Back knee comes to the floor. You can stay folded over the leg, come part way up, or all the way up. On the exhale, soften into the hips. On an inhale, bring the hands to the mat. Exhale, right foot steps up to meet the left. You can do this in stages if you want. Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, lift the head, flatten the back, torso standing, sweeping the arms out and up. Exhale, palms to heart. And again, sweeping the arms out and up. If you like, press the hips forward, look up between the thumbs, standing back bend. Exhale, swan dive down, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold again. Left foot steps back. Lunge, if you'd like a little tougher class, you can keep that back knee raised, making this high lunge. Stay folded over the forward leg, coming part way up or all the way up. Inhale, place the hands. Exhale, right foot steps back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lengthen the plank. Exhale, down dog. Left foot steps up between the hands. Back knee can be up or down. Second side lunge, Uttanasana. Inhale, place the hands. Right foot steps up to meet the left. Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift the head, flatten the back, torso standing, arms out and up. Maybe pressing the hips forward, standing back bend, and palms to the heart. And two more, inhale up. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Left foot back, inhale, lunge. Back knee can be up or down. Exhale, soften. Inhale, place the hands. Right foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale to plank or supported plank. Exhale, down dog. Left foot up, inhale, lunge, Anjanasana. Back knee up or down. Exhale, soften. Inhale, place the hands. Right foot up to meet the left, Anjanasana. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lifting all the way up. And palms to heart. And last one, inhale up. Exhale, swan back down. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Left foot back, inhale, lunge. Exhale, soften. Inhale, place the hands. Right foot back, exhale, down dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, dog. Left foot up, inhale, lunge. Exhale, soften. Inhale, place the hands. Right foot up, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift all the way up. Exhale, palms to the heart. Take a moment to pause here. Check in with the body, check in with the breath. We still won't be breathing deeply and comfortably. Muscles that are itching or trembling or burning, these are all good things. We never want any sharp or stabbing pains. We never want to lose that comfortable breath. Moving into some Halloween standing poses. Starting with standing crescent pose. Feet up, hips width apart. My tail is shedding all over me. Inhale the arms up alongside the ears. Press one hip out, reaching up and over with the fingertips. We're making the shape of that skinny moon in the sky. And see if you can keep equal weight on the feet. Pressing into the left foot as much as the right. And inhale back to center. Left hip out to the left, fingertips up and over to the right. Pressing into that right foot as much as the left. And inhale back to center. Witches on the broomstick. Bend the knees, lift the hips like you're sitting down on your broom, and bring the hands to the broom handle in front of you. You're a witch riding through the sky. A little bit more weight in the heels than the toes. And if you're a really crazy witch, let go of the broomstick. And press into the feet and release. Step the left foot most of the way back. We're going to turn the toes out at a little bit of an angle. Hips are pointing toward the front of the mat. We're going to hinge forward from the hips. Back stays flat. The hands can come to the forward leg. pyramid pose. If you're feeling fairly steady, reach the arms out in front of the body, mummy. And lift the torso back up and release the arms. Second side, let the left foot step up, right foot step back. Toes a little bit of an angle. Hips pointing toward the front of the mat. Hinging forward from the hips. Maybe the hands come to the forward leg and stay. Maybe you lift the arms out, mummy pose. And lifting the torso up, release the arms, and step foot up. Into vampire pose. Feet about hips width apart. Use your fingers to take hold of the edges of your cloak and lift your vampire cloak up and out. And if you want to go a little further, come up onto the balls of the feet. You're the vampire just before you take flight. And if you fall out, just that. It's just yoga. And if the heels are up, put them back down, release the hands. So our last one, this is the one where the strap may be handy. We're going to take Padangusthasana and take that into zombie pose. So we're going to shift the weight to the left foot. If you have a strap or a bathrobe tie or a hand towel, you can take it around that right foot, bring that knee in toward the chest. We take hold of either side of the tie or towel, straighten the leg. Padangusthasana. And if you're feeling crazy, keep the leg lifted, release the strap. Zombie pose. And release. And second side. Looping your towel or your bathrobe tie or your strap around the ball of the left foot. Shift the weight to the right foot. Bring the knee to the chest to start. Take hold of either side of your strap or tie or towel. Straighten the leg. Padangusthasana. And if you're going for a zombie, let go of the strap and keep that leg as lifted as possible. And release. Come back down to the mat, this time onto the belly. And into Sphinx pose. Bringing the elbows underneath the shoulders, forearms are parallel. Lifting up through the crown of the head, imagining you're this great Sphinx of Egypt. Pressing down through the forearms, lengthening the spine. The elbows out to the sides and release the body down. Now we'll move the hands under the shoulders. Elbows stay tucked in tight like little grasshopper legs. Moving into cobra. Lifting the head, chest, and shoulders. Squeeze the shoulder blades together behind the back. Maybe you stay right here in baby cobra, not a lot of weight in the hands. Or maybe you press into the hands and lift up full cobra. Keep pressing the shoulders away from the ears. A lot of people want to straighten the arms and hang off the shoulder bones. That's not this pose. Elbows bent. And maybe find a little movement. Maybe a little cobra hiss. And when you're ready, releasing back. And bring the arms alongside the body with the palms face down. Pressing the pelvis into the mat, lift the head and shoulders, lift the legs and feet. If you want a little more, lift the arms, hands turn toward the body. This is locust pose, Shalabhasana. For today, it's hovering ghosts. Maybe imagining you're watching people in the earth below. Maybe people from your past life. One more breath. And bring this down. Make a little pillow with the hands and rest the chin or the forehead. You can let the heels drop away from one another to release the hips. Or if you're feeling a lot of sensation in the low back, you can bend the knees and let the feet windshield vibrate from side to side. If you're windshield wipering the legs, let them come down. Bring the hands under the shoulders, lifting up through hands and knees, and back into a child's pose. Big toes together, knees a little apart. You can either rest the head on the mat, or if your horn gets in the way, make a little pillow with the hands or stack one fist on top of one another. And breathe. And lifting up part way, bring the hands to the mat. Tuck the toes under. Press into the hands to lift the knees. Then walk the hands back toward the ankles, shifting the weight behind the body. Yogic squat or witch's imp. Maybe your heels touch the floor, maybe not. Maybe you want to keep your hands on the mat, or maybe you can bring the palms together, bring the upper edges of the arms into the inside of the knees. And maybe you're imagining yourself crouching in a corner, waiting to do the bidding of your witch. And bringing the hands behind the body, come down onto your seat. So we'll take a spinal twist. We're going to start with the left leg straight. Bend the right knee. Bring the sole of the right foot outside of the left knee. This might be the perfect leg position for you. If you're a little more open in the hips or hamstrings, you might try bending the left knee, bringing that heel outside of the right hip. So we want both sitting bones to be equally weighted. We want both of your pumpkins sitting comfortably on the mat. If one of them is lifting up, you're better off keeping that bottom leg straight. So either way, left leg straight or bent, take the left hand or forearm or elbow to the right knee. Right hand comes behind the body, lengthen up through the crown of the head, and twist to the right. And unwind the twist and switch sides. This time starting with the right leg straight. Left foot comes outside the right knee. You can stay right here or bend that right knee. Bring the right heel outside the left hip. Equal weight on both of your pumpkins in the back. Taking the right hand, forearm or elbow to the left knee, left hand behind, lengthen the spine, and twist to the left. This is seated spinal twist, or half forward fisher's pose, or since it's Halloween, pumpkin pose, or pretzel pose, whatever your favorite treat is. And unwind the twist, and release the legs. We'll bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees drop out toward the mat. You can bring the heels in as close to the body as is comfortable, or Baddha Konasana, cobbler's pose, or today, cat pose. Either taking the hands to the ankles or the shins, or maybe interlacing the fingers and placing those under the feet. We're going to lift up through the crown of the head, really stretch through the spine, and let the knees release down. And then bending the elbows, hinging forward from the hip creases. We want the belly moving toward the heels. And then when you've gone as far as you can, go ahead and round down. Head aiming toward the toes or the floor just in front of the toes. Lifting up, making the back flat, and coming all the way back up. This time we'll slide the heels forward so the legs make a diamond shape. Wide back. Again, taking the hands to the ankles or the shins, lifting up, lengthening the spine. Hinging at the hip creases, the belly is moving toward the floor. And then round down. And lifting up, flattening the back, coming all the way up. And fold the knees together and soles of the feet to the mat. Into boat pose or cauldron, bring the fingertips behind the knees. Lean back until the arms are straight. We're lengthening the spine, we're not rounding into the back. Lift the belly up. And then maybe float the hands outside the knees, keeping the back where it is. Maybe take the shins parallel to the floor. Maybe you're the witch's cauldron holding the bubbly brew. Maybe you can feel that bubbling in the belly. Breathe. And take the hands to the knees, lifting up, feet back to the mat. And we'll come back onto the back. And once more, dead bug or happy baby. Knees in toward the chest or the armpits, reaching inside the knees with the arms. Maybe taking hold of the big toes with the fingers, or maybe holding the edges of the feet. Or maybe wrapping the forearms behind the knees. And releasing the feet or the ankles, bring your feet back to the mat. And lengthen out the legs. Let the toes drop away from one another. Bring the arms out to the side, the palms face up. You can close the eyes if that's comfortable, but if that's not comfortable, just find a spot on the ceiling. Kind of let your gaze gently unfocus around that spot. Coming back to corpse pose, Shavasana. Allowing the body to be soft and heavy. Beginning to melt down onto the mat, onto the floor. Allowing the breath to be deep and comfortable. Maybe imagining that you are lying very comfortably in a field somewhere at night under the light of full moon. Maybe imagine this cool white light from the moon covering your body like snow. And maybe as you continue to lie here under the moonlight, maybe this cool white light, this magical moonlight, can begin sinking into your body, releasing anything that you don't need anymore, anything you're ready to let go of. Maybe you had a fight with someone and you've had hard feelings with them. Maybe you're ready to let that go. Maybe that cool white light can find where that is in your body. Just release it and it disappear into the moonlight. Maybe that cool white light finds its way into your thoughts. Maybe you've been hard on yourself. things haven't been working the way you thought they should. Maybe you haven't been doing the things that you wanted to do. Maybe that cool white light, you find where that judgment is in your thoughts. That harshness, the way you're judging yourself. Maybe that magical moonlight can release it and allow you to let it go. Maybe you imagine this cool white light finding anything else that's not serving you, anything that you're ready to let go of. Let that cool white light find that in your body, your mind, your breath. Allow it to release and let go of anything that's no longer serving you. Maybe coming back to imagining lying in the field, quite comfortably, under the moonlight, under the stars. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, and breathe. And now coming back to the body, beginning to reawaken the body from its yogic sleep. Maybe by wiggling fingers or toes, maybe making circles with the wrists to the ankles. Maybe taking deep breaths into the belly or chest, or rocking the head from side to side. Maybe taking a nice full body stretch, like you just woken up. And bending the knees, bringing the feet to the mat, and rolling over to your favorite side. And taking a breath or two right here, staying on that. Pressing into the hands to lift the body back up and finding any comfortable seat for the lengthened spine. And notice if the body, the breath, the mind feel any different from when you started the class. And maybe making a little note to yourself. Halloween is all about play. It's about pretending to be something that you're not. And just not worrying about whether or not you are that thing, whether or not you're good enough, whether or not you actually ever could be an astronaut or a unicorn. And maybe thinking about bringing that into your yoga practice. Just that sense of play. That understanding that you already are perfect, just the way you are. You don't have to be a unicorn to practice yoga. You don't have to get every pose. Just be who you are in practice and notice what that feels like. And notice what it feels like to play. Bring palms together at the heart. The eternal child within me bows to the eternal child within each one of you. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today, and have a great Halloween.